So it's kind of interesting. Um, so if you look at it, and this is all that matters, luxury tax salary. So 2023, it's under 15 million. So the Dodgers would be taking on the last 2 months of that. It's not going to impact terribly. And then 25, 25.5, 25.5, 25.5. Not the worst because it averages like, 32.5. And then the last year is 30.5. So impactful, yes, and especially with Otani, which it's going to be 45 to 50 a year. The Dodgers will have to figure that one out. Good luck. Um, but yeah, so there's definite things that need to be talked about with that. Let's see. Da, 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 da. What? Oh, what do you think Minnesota wants for Maeda or Gray? Huh. Yeah, I saw that. Rosenthal thinks they might deal when to give Keuchel a shot. I don't. If I'm Minnesota, I just trade Keuchel. Trade him. I would rather go with Maeda or Gray. I think Keuchel is fool's gold in some ways. But if they want to give him a shot, great. I'd love to have Maeda I do what he's did in the past with the Dodgers. That guy's coming in the postseason in the bullpen. Sonny Gray would be a guy to get us 6 innings and give up 2-3 runs. And right now, I would really take that. And that's kind of like Jordan Montgomery, right? Jordan Hicks would come in and help close, which, yeah, we could use that. Let's see. Nolan's contract is very good. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and luxury tax wise, it works. At least it comes out to things because Colorado's paying some of that money, which is great. That's part of the weirdness of Colorado. That's why they stink, because it stinks from the very top of that organization. They could have gotten some Dodger prospects. Instead, they got some Cardinal crap and paid $50 million for the Cardinals to take the best player, in my opinion, they've ever had in their franchise. Hat tip to Doug McCain on that one. But yeah, terrible, terrible, terrible. Let's see. Yeah, so, Tamale, this is a really good point. That's true. Arenado's contract isn't too long. Just wonder if they devote as much money to offense versus starting pitching. Yeah, I still would contend that they need more starters. Lance Lynn is a risk, high risk, and so I'm not really going. Oh, that's that's the guy that we're going to rely on. They got to get more if they're going to do to keep moving forward, right? At least that's what I think. I need to make this a little bit bigger because there we go. So I would still rather spend the money on the pitching. It's just who's out there. I mean, Jordan Montgomery, who right now for me is number one. I'm going to put Dylan Cease off the list right now. First of all, I don't think he's available. And second of all, he hasn't been as good as I have him on my fantasy team, and he's been really a disappointment. And it's not because of that. I mean, I'd like him, but I'm not trading how much for him. Three plus good prospects. And I think the ship has sailed with the White Sox. They made the trade with the White Sox. Thank goodness. Gray isn't a big game pitcher. I would agree with that. In terms, and I don't think he's someone that I'm going, oh my gosh, we must have him. But he would fill a role. He would help to limit the innings. If we can go, let's do the fantasy, right? Clayton Kershaw is healthy. Julio Urias starts turning it around. Bobby Miller has enough in the tank for October, and Lance Lynn gets better. Not too bad. Then there's the other wild card, and I don't think it's very valid, but I'm gonna throw it out there. Walker Buehler. Let's maybe Ryan Pepio can really come around. Yeah, Gray isn't a big game pitcher, and neither is Lance Lynn. Yeah, Lance Lynn, I guess, was pretty decent, I think, in the 2011 World Series. That's a long time ago. It's a Tommy John surgery ago. That's no, wait, he was not. No, he wasn't in the 2011 World Series. No, he wasn't. So, but I've that he throws a lot of fastballs, a lot of varieties of fastballs. I'm not the biggest fan of his pitch mix. I do think though that we got the right people. We call it the Prior Lab, but for a good reason. They have worked some miracles. It's really quick though, right? I mean, it's like, oh, okay, instant press and change. Mark Pryor and company are great at what they do. Come on though, it's a high risk. I give it a 25% chance of helping out. And that's okay. I just that's why I hated trading Nastrini, because I'm so low on this. But Lance Lynn's a professional. He's had a lot of success. He's made a lot of money, and so and people wanted him. The Rays wanted him, and we wanted him. So that does say something. Yeah. Okay. Good. Really good. Yeah. Good point. So it hurts to lose Nastrini, but I'd rather give up a number 9 prospect for 2 arms than our 2 and 3 prospects for Giolito. However, the Angels prospects they gave up are basically like our 8 and 9. So it's kind of it's very similar. I would think, yeah, it would have taken 2. Yeah, and giving up 1 good prospect. And it's a 9. It's a strong 9. It's a good 9. Ours is a good 9. So it's a 5 for other teams. Probably a 5 for the White Sox. It'll be interesting to see where he slots. But to get 2 rentals, I'm kind of okay with that. We got Joseph, the greatest, and we got, Lance Lynn or risk. But it's interesting. And I'd rather do that than it would have taken 2 for Giolito, 2 of our top 10s. Do you think most Dodger fans will be disappointed by Friedman this deadline, or does he have a Max Scherzer tight trade up his sleeve? Oh, don't ever sleep on Andrew Friedman, right, Sean? I do think he's trying. He's always trying for elite talent, and so if they're out there, then they're gonna find it. If anyone's gonna find it, it is him. The Max Scherzer Trey Turner trade is one of the most interesting trades, and I have no problem with it. I still have no problem with it. I'd do it again every year. I would do that. Sal, I'm not a fan of spending all that money on a 32-year-old Arenado. He will be 36 at the end. Yeah, there's a lot to that. I look at Arenado as, well, he's still a good hitter. And, but he could already be slowing down. A lot of wear and tear on that body. And his glove has taken a dip this year. I think, but defensive-wise, and I'm kind of looking a lot at this year and next year. I'm going, man, do we want Max Muncy at third base again in the postseason? Even if Arenado is slowing down, still think he's a way better third baseman than Max Muncy will ever be. So I'm kind of like that, but it's a lot of money. It is a lot of money, and a lot of talent that will have to go over there. They were definitely asking for DePaula. Well, they can go pound sand if it's for DePaula. As I said it before, I think he's their number 1. I may be wrong about that. Let's see, John Davis. Do I see? He's getting Nolan. Yeah, we've been talking about that a bit. Thanks for joining us, John. Yeah, we've been talking. I can see it. I don't know if it's going to really happen, but they did sign Freddie Freeman last year, going into his year 32 season. He's 33, and Nolan's 32 this year. I'm going to take a quick look at his. Really, really, how old is he? I mean, in terms of, I didn't really see the days, but he starts next year is his age 33 season. So that's legit. And third base, a lot more wear and tear than first base. Same time, boy, I think he would fit in really well. But I want to win. And again, going back to what Doug McCain has been preaching, and I'm really buying into it a lot more. This is a special year in terms of who we have, because who we won't have next year. Definitely Julio. He's gone, in my opinion, unless he takes a QO the way he's going. That guy's lost millions and millions of dollars with his season this year, but he can still recover. Yeah, I would love to get even just Jordan Montgomery. So Jordan Montgomery and Hicks would be a good package as well, even if we can't get Nolan. That would be 4 fresh arms in total. Yeah, this team needs 4 fresh and healthy arms. My only problem with Hicks is he's got some wildness, but man, he throws really, really hard, and would be he would fit right in, because it's another look that they would have to the bullpen. Montgomery would come in, and I don't even know if he's a playoff starter. I kind of don't care.
Hyundai Elantra versus Toyota Corolla.
Sorry about that.
Look what Elantra has.
Let's kill that page. Thanks, Sport Track, for throwing crappy commercials on my feed there. But Montgomery's a lefty, and he's not really he's not totally proven to me, but he's good enough to go and throw 6 innings a game, give up 2 to 3 runs, help Bobby Miller to not accumulate too much. There's going to be a battle. The Dodgers will be battling all the way till the end of the season. I think that's good, but it's going to wear the team down, wear the pitching down. Freddie doesn't take the pounding. Yep, at first, like a third baseman, taking on much money and giving up too much. Yeah, and I'm more concerned about giving up the talent. I would think if the Dodgers are taking on that whole contract, that the prospect level should be down. You got to, just looking at it this way, when they got Nolan from the Rockies, they didn't give up that much. So I don't think they need to give up. I think it would be 2 of our top 15 starters for sure. Probably 2 of our top 10. And then you fill it out with a 20 to 25 prospect and a wild card. And I don't know about the whole CT3 or Max Muncy going over there. I don't know about that. Yeah. So I'm just not sure about that. But that's all speculation. It would be, gone through losing so many players that are, quote, favorites of mine that I don't even care anymore. I want to win. I want to go to a parade. But I want to go to many parades. Let's see, in a playoff setting, I can see Hicks, scaring elite hitters. Having him face Riley or Acuna in the NLCS. Exactly. Braves are the best team right now in baseball. I think that's pretty factual. They're going to be really tough to beat in the postseason. And how all in should the Dodgers go to try to beat them and then win this thing? Let alone I still believe they're going to have to beat the freaking Padres. They're going to get in there. I don't agree with D-Mac and his win now attitude. Dodgers have had that mentality since 2019. They have only one World Series to show for it. We have the talent and built the team for the future. Yeah, I agree with that. But remember that Mookie he's going to be 31 next year. Freddie's going to be 34. And we're going to be without Urias. Kershaw will be another year older. And I don't go full in like Doug does. I'm not giving up a bunch of dudes for rentals. But if there's some, and I'm not gonna, I think it was too much for Lance Lynn, with Nastrini. But I would have done for Giolito. I would have gone in for Giolito with Nastrini, and he did the same trade package. Maybe that's what they did. And I would go to get Arenado. I would do certain things because I think the biggest strength of the minor league system, there's 2 of them: catchers. So you got to include a catcher and right-handed starting pitching. So I think there's I think you can work through that. Let's see, Tamale. I'm split on Arenado, and how well he ages is a legit concern. Absolutely. Everyone, for anyone growing old, that's the thing. But I also give him benefit of the doubt. The Hall of Fame path guys that tend to age better. Yeah, it could be. That was one reason that I wrote an article at Dodgers Nation, the end of the 2018 season, saying keep Machado. That he was worth doing because I thought he would age well, and he has aged well. He's dude's playing really well now. I don't know if you guys saw the play. And I'm not a fan of Machado. I mean, we old Johnny Hustle and all that crap. Plus, he's on the Padres now, a big whiny kid, trying to be a leader, and he's trying. I'll give him credit, but I mean, he's on his butt between second and third, short and third, and he was in, so he's along the base path pretty much. But he ended up on his butt and threw the guy out at first base from his tail. Kind of impressive. Let's see hepatitis C later. I get what DMAC was saying, but he said he would include Bobby in a deal to get Nolan and Jordan Montgomery. I wouldn't. That's the difference between Doug and myself. I think we keep Bobby Miller. If we want to win this year, I think we need to keep him. I think you can get those guys without Bobby. There's a lot of guys that you could give up and not give up Bobby. I think you cannot give up pitchers that are helping you right now. Now, if any of the other guys right now that are younger and that are starting, and if they were traded for Montgomery in a Montgomery trade with Nolan, I would not trade Sheehan or somebody or Gavin or anyone like that just for Montgomery. I would not do that. But if someone like that gets in trade with Nolan and Montgomery, that's different. Then I would you can include those guys, but Bobby I think is a guy that we need to have. Montgomery's number 4. I agree. Nolan is still great, but negative on trading Bobby. With you, 100%. Hepatitis C ya later. 100% agree. Sean, if Dodgers are win now, we should DFA Barnes. We all know it's true. No lies there. So I have a different alternative, which is to he gets injured and he stays with the team, or send him to OKC on the rehab and allow him to maybe get his swing back. If he doesn't get his swing back, you go get another catcher anyway. In my opinion, it is too late for Mr. Fiducia. I hate that, but I do think it's too late for Fiducia this year. If it's for some reason they don't like him. Just saying. I just don't think they do. I don't know what it is. No inside information there at all, but actions speak louder than words. But Barnes, you go get a backup catcher now. Barnes goes on the IL and rides out the season, and he's on the taxi squad for the playoffs if he doesn't get his swing back in OKC. It's very simple. You got to have a full bench. We cannot make the last out of a game 7 with a weak hitter off the bench. That can't happen. You got to have something coming off. It's got to be. I want to bat another bat like a Peralta as our backup catcher. I know that's asking a lot, but go get him. Now's the time. Make sure you have enough to give Will enough rest during the season, and that And I like Barnes too. That's what kind of sucks. It always sucks about that, the decline there. Let's see. Yep. The Phantom IL are offering more money to coach if he's that valuable in the clubhouse. Yeah, I agree. But hey, let's get back to 2016 when they traded A.J. Ellis for Ruiz. Was it, what did they call him? Chooch? Was what they called him? Carlos? I can't remember anymore. Ruiz was an upgrade. He got the game-winning RBI in that Game 5 against the Nationals. It was very upsetting. You had Kershaw crying in the dugout, and everyone's all upset. Um, One of the things that I've seen, and I think it hurt them in 2019, Rich Hill had been injured, but the players wanted him on the playoff roster. He didn't help. He just did not help. Um, let's see. CT3 is kind of the odd man out with Kike, Ahmed, Rojas. I can see him in Cardinals trade if they really want CT or Muncy. It wouldn't surprise me, but yeah, I'm not sure about. Hey, right. If you look at the team right now, with the way the team is configured with the infield and the outfield, pretty good in terms of just that. There's room for everybody. Um, really the only weak spot now on the bench is our backup catcher. He's not helping defensively. He's not helping offensively. It's the mental stuff, and yeah, let him be there. Right now, Bobby, the game 2 starter over Julio. I like it in some ways just because it mixes it up. He has a better chance to power through hitters. Yeah, Julio got to get his act together. I brought it up a long time ago. And Doug's when finally he's on board with this now, but pitch clock is impacting him, and Julio needs to be in better shape. His cardio, I don't think it's any good. He's a big boy. He's too big. He's a professional athlete. Go lose 20, 30 pounds for next year, and he probably will, especially if he has a make-do contract. But he needs to lose weight. He needs to get his cardio up. Needs to do some zone 2 and then some zone 5 exercising. Really get that pounding, get that heart pounding so that he could do that. It's coming. You pitch, you're going to get that ball back. You got 15 seconds. And he's not ready. Rory Calhoun. Man, I agree with this. Do not give DePaula away. Do not. I'm not giving him away. I ain't trading him away. I'm keeping him. I'm definitely the only way I would have considered moving him at all was for a Shohei trade like last year or something like that. But we didn't know how. We knew a little bit about him, but not that much. I do, like I said, I consider him the number 1 prospect. Kershaw's retiring, would not be surprising. Julio is gone, I think so. Gonsolin, let's talk about Gonsolin for a second. Well, we'll go. We have Walker and May coming back next year. We need starting pitching, in my opinion. That's true. Dustin May is done as a starter, and he doesn't come back till mid next year. He got hurt so darn fast because his mechanics are terrible. They're terrible for health. They got him to the major leagues because it helped him with all that extra whip and everything like that. But he's all over the place. It's just, and you can't really change that very easily. It's up to him. I hope Kershaw's not retiring. I want him to get that parade, and I want him to get 3,000 Ks. That would be really cool. And then Walker. Yeah, and there's no guarantee Walker's going to be as good. I think he will be because he's special. He's our ace. Yeah. So here, this is Sean. Stone, Pepio, Miller, Knack, Frasso, Hurt. Dodgers have better pitchers that we can find on the trade market. Yeah, but not this year. Other than Miller and maybe Pep. I think, Miller and Pep I'd rather have than Lance Lynn. I think some of these guys are relievers. I think in the future, and it always works out that way. But I think you can move 2 of these guys if you need to. And again, if you look at this is a logjam right there. They all need to prove themselves. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I'm glad this came out. Hepatitis, see you later. Dodgers might go get Verlander or Scherzer. Those guys have struggled, but at least there is at least some chance they could throw a gem in a playoff setting. J-Mont kind of is what he is. Yeah, very good point. If you all recall, the Dodgers did go after Verlander. Came in second, of course, to the Mets. The Mets went way overboard. The Mets, there is a lesson there, folks. And so what I want, I'll admit it, I'd take Verlander or Scherzer just on that point, because there is upside. But boy, they're risky, and there's that money. And I always, when it gets to the money, I cop out and I say it's not my money. And guess what? It's not my money. But it does impact the salary cap or the luxury tax. And there was another thing that I saw. I don't know if it's true, because I think it's heavy grifting season. I'm grifting right now. Heavy grifting season for the national sports writers. This is where they make their money. They're making money. They make money off their clicks. They make money off the links and being first and all that stuff. That's why you see all these things going on. But they said that the Dodgers are not. Someone said, I don't recall, I should have bookmarked it, that the Dodgers are not taking anyone on that has a contract beyond next year. Or beyond this year, sorry. They don't want expiring contracts. So if that's the case, that would mean no Verlander, no Scherzer. We'll see. And I think it's really, if that does happen, that means that some money's going to be coming back to the Dodgers also, or they're going to be taking on, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Trinan, Taylor, Muncy, I don't know, whatever. They have to be taking on something. Barnes. Yeah. So I think that is kind of throws it out there, though. And Montgomery is what he is. If he's a Game 4 starter, I'm good with that. I don't want him in. Well, I just don't want to see what happened last year, where Julio and Kershaw pitched decent enough last year in the playoffs. Not their best, but at least good enough. But then Gonsolin comes in again for the playoffs and gets lit up. And I think for Gonsolin, it's not that he's a bad pitcher. I think it's by that time he's toast for the season. Eduardo Rodriguez, okay, that's another one to talk about. Another left-hander. That's right up there with Jordan Montgomery. I think he's also got a contract that's going to be a little weird. Let's be honest, I don't see the Dodgers playing DePaula. They get all these rehab players in the outfield. Yeah, it takes that playing time. They can't even play DeLuca. There's a difference, though. I think DePaula has some special tools as a hitter, and he's different. He really is. The fact that he's only 18, basically 17 when he got called up, they think a lot of him, and he has some very special hitting tools. DeLuca has, I think he's a nice defender. He's pretty darn fast. He's a very nice player, and it kind of sucks how he's, well, he got hurt. That's worse. And he can't even go down and get ready just in case someone else gets hurt and come back up. But he was going to get sent down, which sucks. I think he's earned his way to stay. But DePaula has, again, the hit tool. It might be very, very special that no one else in the organization has. That's an opinion. Just watch the swings, watch his head, watch how things just don't, the arms move and all that, but the head moves very little. The eye is elite. It's Juan Soto-esque, and well, hopefully without the growing lower half of his body as Juan Soto turns into Jock Peterson right in front of our eyes. If you ever run into Friedman again, ask him what he thinks of DePaula. I am going to. I hope he's on the Friedman no trade list. He's not gonna answer my question, but I will literally tell him. I said, guy that's the most impressive to me is DePaula. I'm just saying. And he'll go, oh yeah. Andrew Friedman's not gonna give up anything. None of those guys do. But DePaula, gets promoted as a 17-year-old, and they're batting him in the top 3 right away, almost every game. Today he played center field, which is good to see. He had a bad day at the plate, but he's special, and I think he is. It was mentioned in the chat, not the chat, but in one of my couple DePaula things. it was a legit point. He's not showing any power yet. I think it's there. He's only 18. He's a little thin. Yeah. Well, this came up case podcast the other day. Would you rather spend the next big contract on Ohtani or Soto? Oh, it's Ohtani. I like Soto a lot. I think his hit tool is fantastic. But I also think that he's going to be just a DH. He's getting bigger and bigger, and but I would have went really hard after Soto last year. His bat translates into the postseason just because he can get the bat on the ball and hit it hard. I mean, his exit velocities are really strong. Ohtani, it's beyond the field of play in terms of economics for the team. If you're a businessman, it's Ohtani. That's the guy. Just like Valenzuela brought in, the Mexican community. Ohtani, well, like Nomo-san before, would bring in the Japanese fans. I mean, you go to an Angels game, and even if he's not pitching, there's a lot of Japanese fans there, and they're all wearing number 17. Yeah, I don't disagree. He's a great young player. I hope I'm wrong, but we just waste talent not letting them play. Yeah, but at the same time, they have let a lot of guys play this year, which is really cool. And, I'm pretty still pissed about last year with some of the things that they did. But they did let a lot of kids play this year, and it's good. And they got some mixed results. Now, this year, they gave them 3 months, 3+ months. Not bad. I would have given them a little longer, right up to the trade deadline. But, now it's time to win. And Outman has shown that he is ready to continue that. And so has Bobby Miller. I think they didn't play DeLuca enough. I would have started him at least a few times against right-handers. My goodness. So I think that's a miss. But maybe they're not as high on DeLuca as some of us are. But I do think, Sal, that those are this year they've done a better job of that, of integrating those guys, and some have worked out, some haven't. But the good news is the guys that haven't worked out yet, there is next year. That's the best thing, and I think they're going to go right back to giving Vargas time and all that. So that's good. But and they learned. These guys, it's only a bad thing if you don't learn from your mistakes, learn from your errors and things like that. Let's see. The baseball guy is trying to make things right after the Jordan trade. Maybe spawn another Jordan in the Dodger system. Yeah, I would have initially said that, but I think it's more Soto without. But he's taller and better build, faster, really good arm. He told me personally, and I said I'm allowed to share this. With the momentum on a 1 or 2 hopper. Radar gun got him his arm at 102 miles an hour from the outfield on his throw. There's an argument that Soto ages better than Ohtani and is a better investment. Soto is younger, yes. Him being a DH right away preserves him. Maybe Ohtani doing both may hurt him. That's very possible. I agree. I don't disagree with that. I just I think Ohtani is overall, because of the pitching wise, and he may, and he's got Tommy John, throws the freaking splitty. That's a riskier thing. There's a risk there. But Soto, I don't know what's going on in the Padre clubhouse, but I've heard, and we've seen things that he's focusing more on himself. I don't know if that's true. His agent is Boris. He's going to take the most money he can get. The reason you invest a lot of money into Ohtani is because he can do 2 things. And I bet Ohtani could play the outfield if he can pitch. He's an excellent athlete. Soto's not. I mean, he's actually still decent speed. I think he's 26.8, so he's only 24, and that lower half of his, he's only getting bigger. Okay. Ken Rosenthal says Mariners would deal young pitcher Logan Gilbert for Michael Bush, Ryan Pepio, and Jose Ramos. Who says no first? Oh, I think the Dodgers let that happen. I think they'd do that. I hate it, but some of y'all know I'm like the OG Pepio guy. I want him to have a shot though too. So I would like to keep Pepio. I think he's going to help us this year, and plus his arm's fresher than the rest of the guys. So I like that idea. I'd like to substitute someone else than Pepio. Michael Bush needs to go if they're not going to trade him, especially if they do somehow get Arenado, which I put the odds of that 10%. No, as you guys know, no inside information. These are opinions. Chandler, what's up? My guy Chandler from Rancho. See him at the Rancho games. We have good chats on Instagram. He challenges my brain to see who's who these guys are. So it's cool. Sal says Soto is overhyped. He's an average outfield. Very true. Inconsistent with the bat. I agree with this. The Dodgers should not have given up Seager. Yeah, I know. I agree. Seager's biggest problem is he's missing one of the you've heard it. What do they call 5-tool players? Well, it's really 6-tool, and that's availability. And that's Seager. He breaks down. I think Soto is also going to have injury issues. Now I know he's got some type of finger issue. Those happen, but I think as you get in worse shape, the more that can happen. Where you're gonna, if you, and trust me, as a guy who used to be really overweight, the bigger you are, the worse shape you're in, the more you get hurt. And so everyone make sure, track your calories, walk every day, get some movement. Julio, do the same. You think the Dodgers say no to that? Yeah, I think the thing is Logan Gilbert's more proven than Pep, but I like Pepio, and he had such a good spring training before he got hurt, so I'd like to keep him. Chandler, yes, gonna miss Nastrini. Yeah, me too, man. You missed it earlier, but he actually him and I have a couple real good mutuals. I can't even watch Seager yet. Yeah, it's still too soon. Yeah, gosh darn it, hate that. He should have been a Dodger for life. I just wish that his agent was Boris. He got an amazing contract. California would have taken $401 million to match that contract in terms of how much Corey Seager would have been taking home. That's California. Hey, but we got great weather. Even when it's hot, it ain't Texas hot. And I'm going to find out about Texas hot in a little more than 3 weeks. First, Orlando, Florida hot. Then Texas hot. We're doing that. My wife and I are three days in Orlando, 3 days in Austin to visit our children. My favorite Quakes player currently? No, I'm not going to answer that because I'll get in trouble. Chandler, who is your favorite Quakes player currently? Let's see. Oh boy, oh come on, Sean, you're just killing me. Are you gonna make me cry? Corey Seager, Adrian Beltre, Paul Konerko, Mike Piazza, Pedro Martinez. Dodgers have let some all-time greats get away. Yeah. And Seager prime, Beltre after 48 dongs, Konerko early, but he hit over 400 home runs after he left. Piazza in the middle of his prime. Pedro, old number 2 said he was too small. Lorenzo, hey, I love that guy. Chandler, have you had a chance to meet him yet? That dude he's a good dude. If you don't know, he's a chef, man. I don't know if you speak Spanish, Chandler, but check out the interview we got with him. It's all in Spanish though, but I met him in spring training. He is one of my favorites, just in terms of he's so easy to talk to, and he's always smiling, having a good time. Will Lorenzo be a top 100 in the future? Yeah, I think so. What got me with Lorenzo, even before I really saw him much behind the plate, was what he did at the plate. The thunder from the bat, it's real. The power's for real, and he's only 20. So I like him a lot, and it's the hit. And I've talked to some guys, some pitchers, they really like him in terms of receiving with him. So we'll see. He's also been playing some first base, but he might have the bat to even DH. I don't know. Maybe try him at third. Get some versatility in him. But, yeah, if Kershaw retires, Urias leaves, I know. No homegrown guys as leaders are on the team except Will Smith, who is invisible as a face of the team. We got to continue with the youth movement next year. Oh, yeah, it's going to continue. There's plenty of it coming. I think Outman will be a leader as he continues to grow. I think that pitching-wise, Walker Buehler is that guy. Yeah, it's just a matter of some of these guys going in there and doing it. I do think though that learning from guys like Mookie and Freddie, man, and they also won the freaking ping pong thing. But Coach Chandler, see, you text him on Instagram. Good, he's a good guy. Yeah, definitely. I know it's the one of the things with catchers is they're very busy. But yeah, make sure you meet him sometime. And then yeah, I do consider about that. What's the next Dodgers trade? That's great. Great question. I think we got to get one more pitcher, right? I mean, chat. What do you think? Is it Jordan Montgomery? I don't know. Is it Justin Verlander? Is it Max Scherzer? I think those are really low on the possibilities. Is it what's his name? Flaherty, which I just don't get. It sucks no Miggy in the playoffs. Yeah, really wanted to see him go off. He had a better shot than three of the guys that were in the lineup. Taylor, Bellinger, and Turner. Those guys did nothing of value. Turner didn't hit the ball. Turner's doing really well right now. Good for him, but by October comes, he's done, and he's proven that the last quite a few years. I mean, he did hit a home run in the World Series in 2020, but the rest of his numbers not very good. Ever since the one home run off of Lackey, the 2017 World Series, he was bad. Yeah, so hopefully Miggy can get going. I think some of the better talent from a position player is at the lower levels. Glasnow from the Rays, yeah, I wish, but he's a free agent in a couple year or so. After next year, that's a possibility. I was at game 2, shocked to see Dave pinch hit. Yeah, Austin Barnes, if he's hater. I want to see Miggy in that spot. Absolutely. That you want to at least have a guy that has a chance. Now, Miggy has seen, though he has struggled a little bit with some of the heat, with the high end heat. But Austin Barnes has been struggling to hit anything the last couple of years. And, I know Miggy's still got the hit tool, and it's gonna happen for him. It's just, I think it all just kind of really twisted and just never recovered. From this last year. It's a real bummer, but all right. Let's see. Real quick, if the Dodgers were to go after a backup catcher, who do you want? Max Fried's a free agent after next season. Thing is, he's going to be like 32, his first time in free agency, and he's been a little off and on. But he's another guy we know. Him, Giolito, Flaherty, those guys are Dodger guys. Arenado, they would love to play with the Dodgers, but they're not going to give a big discount. Did Austin Riley struggle his first year as well? Absolutely. Yeah, I was listening to MLB Network. They were talking about that yesterday. And 2020, he wasn't really that good, and they were messing around with him, playing him in left field. Think with Miggy, remember he was also learning a new position on the fly. Yeah, he played a little bit of second base over the years, but not near as much. And so now he's playing all the time at second base at OKC. Michael Busch is playing all the time at third. Just keep that in mind for next year. I didn't see your next Dodger. Would you say, Sal? I missed it, man. Which is, it's kind of good that the chat's been busy that I actually missed that. That's actually a cool thing. I appreciate y'all. What do you got, Sal? Please send it to me again if you could. Yeah, what is the next Dodger move? That's the question. Is it a backup catcher? I think it's got to be. It's a trade Miguel Vargas for Nude Bar. You know who would go crazy over that is my youngest. He loves old half Japanese, half Lars Ulrich, Newt Bar. He loves Lars, man. It is kind of cool. I was thinking of the catching market. I thought of Salvador Perez, but no way the Dodgers take on that money. That's true. But he is an upgrade over Barnes. Yeah, you are an upgrade over Barnes. Sorry, Austin. I just had to say it. We got to have a little bit of humor here. The Dodgers get Blake Snell. Oh, yeah, you've been on that, haven't you? Man, wouldn't that be the weirdest thing? You know, Blake Snell becomes a Dodger, and he has to go, and he has to look Austin Barnes in the eye, and Austin Barnes can go, I knocked you out of that game, and your team fell apart. And he did. He did. Oh. Yan Gomes, yes. Really good catcher, too. Chandler, yeah, can't believe we cut Eddie's. I know. Well, I haven't cut him yet, but I don't, he's DFA'd, so I think they're going to trade him. He's just going to end up in a trade. So there was something that's been brought up a few times, but I'm going to bring it up again. Something to remember, next year, there's a limit of the number of players you can have in your organization. It's 165. Right now, the Dodgers have 199 last time Josh Thomas, the Dodgers Digest, checked. 199. They have to get rid of 34 guys by next year. And remember, they just brought in the draft guys. I don't even know if all those guys from the draft have been accounted for. So they have to get rid of guys. That's why you saw a guy like Dayton Dooney get released. There's gonna be a few more guys that are gonna get released. It's gonna hurt. It does get personal. He is a veteran as well, well respected, and better than Barnes. He's better than Barnes in all aspects. No excuse the Dodgers can't make that move from a chemistry standpoint. I agree. Again, put him on the IL, let him stay in the dugout. He's the new coach, and I honestly believe he's a future manager. If they respect him so much that they're willing to let him hit Mendoza line divided by 2, then why not? He should be on the coaching staff, and I think he's a future manager, not Justin Turner. So I would go with him. This is a team that if any team could withstand, losing somebody, it is this team. This team has great chemistry. You can see it. I've been in the locker room, spring training, and I've been in there once this year, hoping to get it another time or two. But the chemistry is there. Doug sees it, and we hear about it. And it's one of the things that I read, and I think it's really important that anytime there's a Dodger event, that Peralta, Rojas, and Hayward are there. They're always there. And then you see Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts teaming up on ping pong. And you see all the weirdness and the silly little Freddie dance or whatever that they're doing. I would never do it because I would look really the fool. But they want to do that, and some don't look stupid doing it. Mookie's got his groove, and Kike looked good doing it. Kike is just funny. I enjoy Kike. Have a good night, Tim, and chat. Yes, getting up early. Going to Nevada. All right, man. Take care. Get some good hands out there, right? Now the Dodgers got a guy like Hayward that's going to cook up. It's going to cook up speed to March, come back in the playoff game. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Hayward is one of those guys. He's well respected. James Outman swears by him. Yeah, Hayward's, and hey, the Cubs are paying for that. They're paying 21 million. Dodgers are paying 700 plus, 750 million. So thank you, Cubs. Um, and by the way, the Cubs are in it. They're not trading. So Belly is going to stay with the Cubs the rest of the year. It looks like Stroman also. I would love to have Stroman, but I think he's off the market. If it's between Montgomery and Stroman, I'd rather have Marcus, but I don't think that's happening. So I try to be real with these things, and even the Arenado stuff. The Dodgers got a better chance of getting Arenado than Stroman this year, and I wouldn't give Stroman a huge contract, but I'm glad. Good for him. Any guy that can make a good run for a contract, I applaud. And including Bellinger, old. Some call him the big dummy. A lot of names about him. Yeah, Yankees punching air. They wanted Belly bad. The Yankees are punching air all season, man. And they lost on a walk off in the night. Today on a home run. Santander, is that his name? Off old friend Tommy Kahnle. Yankees might sell. Is there anyone from the Yankees that we'd want? Garrett Cole. I'll take Garrett Cole. I would take Garrett Cole, that's for sure, and I'd give up a lot for him, because I would. He's that good.